Hey, welcome back to the Midday Q&A. I'm your host, the Duckman. This is the video where I try to answer people's questions, so if you got one, now's the time to ask. Let's see if I can get to you in the next Q&A video. Well, switching roles, I actually asked you guys a question in the last one. What do you guys think of me posting links as answers to people's questions that I've already answered already? And overwhelmingly, the response has been, yes, go ahead and do that. It's kind of a standard thing on YouTube. I just didn't know if it was kind of like a Dickie thing, you didn't do your homework. Maybe you should go study and read the book, RTFM. A lot of people don't like that. I didn't know if that would be a good thing to do or not, but nonetheless, overwhelmingly, everybody said yes to it. Not one person said no, so we're going to continue to post links to my videos whenever I've got the answer and it's been previously posted. So I think we'll go that way from now forward. So anyways, before I get to answering your question, let's go ahead and click the likey. Don't forget to subscribe. Pluck the little dingle belly down there next to the subscribe button. That way you get updates every time I upload a new video. And don't forget, if you'd like to email me, duckmancycles@duckshit.net, and Duckman Cycles and VW Garage up on the Facebook group page. We'll have discussion on this type of stuff where you can ask your Q&A questions over there. So thanks for watching. We'll be back right after this intro. Well, I've been telling you guys that I had a Volkswagen thing coming up, and I still kind of do if I could get things together. But there's a couple personal problems that I'm dealing with over here before I can actually bring another car home. I don't need to get into the extreme details, but let's just say the home insurance company doesn't really like the idea of me having too many vehicles on this property. And there's a little bit of money problems involved with that, too. It's not so much my money, but rather that somebody else wants some money. Once again, we're involving the insurance company here, and I don't need to give too much more details, you know how it goes. So anyway, I could not bring that car home just yet because I can't pay the owner for it and I can't bring it here because neither one of those two things would just make sense at this time. He's still got it. He hasn't sold it yet. He says he's probably going to put it up for sale soon or maybe start parting it out. And I told him if there's still enough left of it by the time I get to it, I will, of course, take it. But, by all means, don't hold it for me. Just don't hold it for me. But I think they have 3 Volkswagen things right now, and they're really nice guys. They just live across town. They're actually part of our Volkswagen club. So we'll see what happens with that. I don't know. But the second question is when am I going to bring that bus home? And that's the other problem. I need to get that white Beetle sold because, once again, too many cars on my property. I just got too much stuff around here. There's just too much junk, and things do need to clear out. I've just got entirely too much stuff over here. So I'm trying to move some of the things that move themselves. And that white Beetle is a really nice one that actually does move itself. It drives well, and frankly, everything works on it at this point. So it's ready to turn the key and drive home to whoever wants it, whoever's interested. So I will post a link to the video down below. I do have the asking price posted in the description of the video. I don't want to mention in this video because I might change it. If I put it in the video, it's permanent. So you guys get the point on that. Well, anyway, it's in the video description of the other video. The link is down below. You can find it there if you're interested in buying my white Beetle. Let's see. What else we got? I got all kinds of good questions. If you were watching last night, you saw that I got this engine running. I found that the 2 of the wires on the distributor cap were actually reversed, number 2 and number 4. JW Classic VW over there on his YouTube channel actually pointed it out to me. You should go subscribe to him. The guy is brilliant. He actually noticed that just by watching. And what was causing it to do, those 2 and 4, which actually fire at alternates, was causing it to fire at the end of its exhaust stroke. So what that was actually doing is causing it to blow out the exhaust, if that makes sense. It was essentially a waste spark. A lot of motorcycles do that. They'll fire at both top dead center and at the second top dead center when the piston comes back up and the exhaust valve open. And on a motorcycle, typically, if you've already burnt all the gases, there's nothing left to blow out the exhaust. But on this car, where the engine had not fired, all the unspent intake mixture, air fuel, gets into the exhaust, and then it fires out the cylinder and phew, comes out the pipe, and that's why it was blowing out the end. So that explains that one. I was kind of surprised as to why it was doing that. I thought maybe I was just, getting a little too much fuel in there and it was dripping down into the exhaust, but no, that probably wasn't the case at all. It was most likely due to number 2 and number 4 being swapped. Anyway, that was a real easy fix. Thank you very much, Jason, over there in Houston, Texas. JW Classic VW. You need to subscribe to him if you haven't already. But one of the questions I got asked in regards to this is if the dual carburetor is going to cause you that much trouble, why keep them on there? And, you know, that's a very good question, actually. I can certainly go back to the single stock carburetor. I do have intake manifold, I have end castings, and I have carburetors ready to go. If I can't make these go easily, that will certainly be an option I will look into. And that's probably one of the easiest ones to get this engine running properly. And now that I'm thinking about it while talking to you guys, it's probably something I should just do, is just bolt the damn thing on as a single, make sure the engine runs properly with a single carb, which I don't see why it wouldn't. Well, considering that I do have as many problems with these carburetors as I do, it actually seems like the engine itself is going to be just fine. It's all related to air-fuel mixture, either too much fuel or not enough. What happens is this one on this side, it leaks on the inside when the fuel pump is on. The float apparently is not closing, and it causes it to gush into the carburetor. And this side, on the other hand, it doesn't do that. The accelerator pump leaks. So what happens when the carburetor fills up, it actually leaks through the pump. There must be a hole in the diaphragm, so it actually gushes out the side of the carburetor. So this one can't keep fuel, and this one gets too much fuel. So you got one side running extremely lean, you got the other side running way too rich, and it's causing it to do all kinds of crazy stuff. This engine will run, it will rev up, but it'll pop, it'll backfire, it'll spit. Also, the linkage is terribly, terribly out of sync, and this is actually a copper pipe. I don't know whose brilliant idea that was, but that linkage is going to go away. I'm going to replace that with something much, much better. But again, that's a money investment, so we're going to see what I do with that. I might wind up switching out some air cleaners on here, or changing out to a different set of carburetors. So before I spend a dime, let's see what I've got here and what's going to be the best option. And of course, you guys will be the first ones to see it once I figure it out. Alright, one of the other options I have to consider is I've got a set of Weber 40 here. This is actually a dual single. 40 is a little big for a stock engine, but it's still out of work. I'm going to lose a little bit of horsepower as opposed to running a 36. I actually have a 36 DeLorto just like this Weber, and that is an option to run too. It bolts onto the same intake manifold actually, and the 36 will actually perform better than the 34s that you see on here, but the 40 is just too much, overcarbureted for a stock engine. So anyway, I've got some options to consider. This does need air cleaner onto it. It needs the velocity stacks replaced. It needs a whole bunch of stuff. This came from VW Planet, so thank you very much. I do appreciate that, John. I might wind up using this. I might clean it up and do something with it. I just haven't really decided yet. But like I said, I got to weigh out my options here. These Webers actually do perform quite well and give you rather good gas mileage. So before I start going into the big boy stuff, let's see if I can make the little stuff work just fine. And as I said before, if that doesn't work, I can always go back to the singles. I do have all the parts to make that happen too. Yeah, the good news is, while running this engine, though, the only oil leaks I discovered was the one on this side, the valve cover gasket. Well, the whole valve cover actually wasn't seated properly. It was actually tipped up a little bit, so I clipped it off, clipped it back on. It's fine. This side over here, it didn't start dripping until after I shut it off the last time I ran it, and you can actually see there's a little dot of oil underneath there. So for some reason that valve cover is starting to leak where it hadn't leaked before. But those are real easy to seal up. I just got to go ahead and replace the cork gasket in there. I was trying to use the old one that was in there from before because it was nice and wet, and the wet ones usually seal up better, which is one of the reasons why people take the cork gaskets, and it actually says this in the service manual. You coat them with axle grease, slap them on the cover, and slap them on the head. And that causes them to seat really, really well, but so does oil if you get it nice and wet, and that's what's going on with that one. It's a nice, well broken-in gasket. But I'll probably have to replace it. It looked pretty good when I took it out, but yeah, I'll probably replace it. Once again, not too big of a deal. Another big controversy about these engines is 30-weight oil. Yes, I've got 30-weight oil in here. That's what Volkswagen called for in the manual, so that means it's good enough for me. You can't go wrong if the manual tells you to do it, right? Some people say, well, why not put 20/50 in it? Well, I don't think I need that additional pressure of the thicker oil. This is not an old, worn-out engine. This thing actually built up oil pressure pretty well, and now that it's actively running, I mean, it builds pressure real quick. Even faster than the fastback does, come to think of it. Yeah, that light goes out real quick when that engine's been sitting and I crank it over. So, no arguments for me there. Oh, Ruby will probably come out of the garage sometime today, too. Maybe I'll even put her in this video a little bit here. We'll see about that. But I actually have a Volkswagen assembly where we're getting all together on Sunday for dinner. And we'll try to get a little bit of video for that and put it up here on this channel. Well, I think that's it for today. It was a little more of an update video rather than so much a Q&A, but I hope you guys enjoyed it anyway. We're going to make a little more progress on this engine as soon as we collect some parts together, and I do a little bit of brainstorming as to what the best option is with the parts that I've got here, and what's going to be the best thing without putting a ton of money into something that I'm just not going to use. You know, I hate to buy all the linkages and everything for these carburetors if they turn out to be crap, if you know what I mean. So, I'll be looking for a rebuild kit for them, and if I can come up with the parts, we'll see what I can do. But as always, if you enjoy my videos, make sure that you click the leaky likey button. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. Don't forget to pluck that dingle belly next to the subscribe button. That way you get updates every time I upload a new video. Duckman Cycles VW Garage up on a Facebook group page, and if you'd like to email me, duckmancycles@duckshit.net. Thanks for watching so much, you guys. I really do appreciate it. And please give me that licky, licky, likey. Every time I do engine stuff, for some reason I get a whole lot of thumbs down. Even if I do things the right way, I still get thumbs down. I follow the instruction manual, I still get thumbs down. I don't know, in my industry, if you follow the instruction manual, it doesn't work, you go down to the manufacturer and you go punch somebody right in the head. You just don't deal with that crap. But anyway, you know, I try to do the best that I can. If you guys like it, that's awesome. I really do appreciate you guys watching, so thanks so much. We'll be back tonight, hopefully with a little bit of a tech video. Appreciate you. We'll see you later.